Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar on premium online studies in Germany and specifically how to pursue a master's, an online master's in solar energy and engineering and an online master's in wind energy systems. We have quite a few guest speakers today that I would like to introduce to you here in a second. My name is Hani Geist. I'm the DAD representative in the San Francisco office. I will be your host for today, and I will be mainly in the background answering some questions and also collecting some questions for the question round at the very end of this webinar. With us today, you see here, we have four guest speakers. We have Andreas Günther, who's with the University of Oldenburg. We have Philipp Bucher, who's with the University of Freiburg. And then we have two representatives from Fraunhofer. Dr. André Bisewicz is with the Fraunhofer Institute for Energy Economics and Energy Systems Technology. And then we have finally Jutta Haubenreich, who's with the Fraunhofer Academy. So there are quite a few speakers and quite a bit of information today on pursuing a degree, an online degree from a German university or several German universities, actually. So what is today's agenda? I will just very briefly talk to you about DAD and specifically about the grants that are available to you if you would like to do some research in Germany at one of the facilities. And then we'll jump right in and you'll hear more about the universities, about how this works, about the online programs, and then, of course, about Fraunhofer Academy. And then at the very end, there will be plenty of time for the Q&A. As I said earlier, please feel free to send your questions as they come up. You can use the question pane, type in your question, just click and send. And if it's a general question, I will take it to the Q&A and use that at the very end. There are a few frequently asked questions like, is this webinar recorded? Can I share the slides? And the answer to all of these questions is yes. I am recording this webinar. I will upload it to YouTube, and then I will send out a follow-up email with a link to the recording and also the presentation. For those of you listening to this webinar live, feel free to click on the handout section, and there is the presentation from the guest speakers today. You can download right away. And of course, you'll be able to contact either of us at the very end or later on if you have any questions about either of our programs or the universities. And now just very briefly, if you're listening from the US or Canada, I represent DAD USA here in San Francisco. And we, for the United States and Canada, DAD North America is responsible to represent German higher education and research abroad, which means that we provide very general information if you would like to study or research in Germany, and we'll also provide general information on the application processes, for example. But then more importantly, of course, is the money. We do offer scholarships and grants that's available to all academics and all stages and all disciplines. And if you are not a US or Canadian citizen, you're still eligible if you are currently a student at a US or Canadian institution, or if you've graduated from a US or Canadian institution. So international applicants are also eligible to apply. And now finally, just one grant that we offer that's specifically relevant for you if you would like to do research at one of the institutions mentioned today or at the Fraunhofer Institute. We offer research grants available for highly qualified graduate students, PhD candidates, or postdocs with a well-defined research project. We do offer short-term grants, and that will be 1 to up to 6 months, and also long-term grants, 7 to 10 months. An invitation by the host institution for this grant is essential, and that basically means that you have a well-defined project, you have a host, and this host invites you to work with him or her in the lab and grants you access to the lab. The monthly support, as you can see here, is 1,200 euros. You receive also travel stipend and health insurance. And the next deadline is coming up just in a few days. November 5th is the deadline for short and long term. We do have an additional deadline in May for the short term only. If you miss this deadline, or maybe if you would like to apply later, there will be another deadline for the long term and the short term also next November. You can find more information on the DAD.org website, and I invite you to visit that website also for frequently asked questions for other grants. But of course, if you have any questions, you feel free to ask them later on. And with that, I don't want to waste any more time and really allow the guest speakers to present to you the online programs that are available and talk to you a little bit more about the universities and the Fraunhofer institutes.
So, hi, I hope everyone can understand me quite well. I'm Jutta. Ms. Geist already introduced me. I'm from Fraunhofer Academy, and I'm about to present the first part. So we changed the agenda a little bit. I hope that's fine with you.
I'm sorry, just a quick note. Would you please change for the presentation, we currently see the presenter mode. If you can change that to the presentation mode so that we only see that slide, yeah, perfect. Wonderful.
Thanks, Philip. Thank you. Perfect. So I'm about to start. As I already said, or as Ms. Geis already said, we are quite a bunch of people here today, and we want to introduce you to a different kind of master programs, all concerning the field of renewable energies. And these different master programs have 4 things in common. First, we offer you the possibility to learn from the world-leading experts in renewables, from the universities, but also researchers from the Fraunhofer Institutes. You are welcome to join the master programs even though you're currently in your job and working full-time, since our master programs are mostly online and designed to be taken part-time. We offer you international network of experts and peers in the field of renewables, and also you can gain knowledge in well, more basic and broad sense when you will join the renewable energy master, or you can also focus on the specifics such as wind or solar. Philip, can you? Perfect. Since Ms. Geis already introduced us, I'm about to jump over this, I guess. And right, and just introduce Fraunhofer for a quick bit. Fraunhofer, I don't know if you know us, we are the largest organization for applied research in Europe. Here you can see the map of Germany. We're mostly located here. All the green dots are research centers of the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft, different kinds of institutes, different topics. All in all, we have about 24,000 people staff and about 17 institutes and research units. I am located here in the headquarters in Munich. You can see that on the picture. We focus mainly on research and development for the industry, but also for the state of Germany. Maybe you know the MP3 music format. That's one of our inventions. And just a quick information, we have a research volume of about 2.1 billion euros annually. We also, we're not just located in Germany or Europe, we also focus on research worldwide. And as you can see, we also have research centers or cooperations with US and Canada as well. So maybe we are more closer to you than you might know. And the Fraunhofer Academy, where I'm working, is responsible for the fact that we are trying to develop training courses out of our research institutes. So we have for once the Fraunhofer Academy that is designing the trainings and the courses of Fraunhofer, combined with the research of the institutes. We also give access to the Fraunhofer labs, for example, online and on site. And we develop our courses together with companies as well as universities, as you can see later on. We offer part-time courses of study, for example, master programs, but also certificate courses or seminars, shorter programs, which might appeal to you as well. If you are interested in our course portfolio as a whole, you can see the link down below. We offer, of course, energy and sustainability as a field of research, but also the fields of, for example, technology and innovation or information and communication. But today, we are focusing on energy and sustainability, and therefore I am about to hand over to Philip.
Okay, thank you, Jutta, for this words about the Fraunhofer Academy. I'm Philip. I'm basically responsible for the solar energy course in Freiburg. But first, we start always in this webinar with 3 slides, which about things all these 3 online programs have in common. So we are these 3 online courses, which we will present now step by step. And our target group are students who are normally already working as engineers in a job and want to study next to the job. So stay in your job, study on top, and get extra qualifications. To realize this, we use what we all have in common is that we all use online learning management systems. This is an example of Cello, which is used in Oldenburg. In Freiburg, we use Ilias. This is basically an online platform where you can access your courses in your own rhythm. So the biggest part of the programs is asynchronous. So you basically have recorded e-lectures, you have self-tests, you communicate via forums. But then there's also a synchronous part. These are the online meetings, which happen in certain webinar environments, like this virtual classroom from Adobe Connect, which I think all 3 of us use, where you regularly meet your professors and your tutors to solve exercises, discuss, just like in a normal classroom, but online and from your home. And a third part, which I think now all of these programs have, are on-campus phases. So in the case of solar energy engineering, you see here some pictures from our on-campus phase, where every semester, every 6 months, for 1 week, we meet in Freiburg with all of our students. It's voluntary. Everything is also transferred online. You can join online, but it's also nice from time to time to come to Freiburg, see our labs, join our company visits, or just become part of our networking events. So now, step by step, we go through the programs. I start with this Master in Solar Energy Engineering. Since 2010, we already do this online format, and it's developing constantly. Behind the program is, on the right side, it's me, like the program manager, but I'm basically just the one who does all the dirty work, like applications and management. But there's also this Professor Stefan Lunz as the scientific head, but there's a bunch of other very successful scientists who give you their first-hand knowledge from the Fraunhofer Institute and the university. The institutions behind are quite interesting. We are the University of Freiburg, is one of the leading and oldest universities in Germany, with 25,000 students and a lot of international students. And which is very interesting in the field of solar energy is the Fraunhofer ISE, which is the second biggest solar energy research institute in the world. Yeah, basically, I think the only one even bigger is NREL in the US, which you will probably know. But NREL is focusing on much more topics, while the Fraunhofer ISE is just focusing on solar energy. And they hold several world records in solar cell efficiency and are, yeah, if you are in the field, you will probably know the Fraunhofer ISE all over the world. Why is solar energy so interesting? Since you are here, you will also have some knowledge about renewable energy, and it's growing tremendously, and especially the PV sector will become a big part of the world energy production. And since it's growing basically exponentially at the moment, there will be a big demand of workforce in the sector in the future years. So our program is designed to be studied next to the job from distance from all around the world. We have students from 4 continents. Currently, we have 42 active students, which study in the format I described previously, with a mixture of asynchronous e-lectures and synchronous online meetings. Yeah, important are these campus phases. I already explained this, and this is last but not least the big chance to network here in Freiburg and to build up a first professional network with colleagues from all around the world and with the experts from the Fraunhofer ISE. Another very special part of our program is, like you can see here, our curriculum, how it's built up. We have 3 years or 2 years options. Like the first year consists on preparatory modules, which a big part is, for example, semiconductor physics, which is like a fundamental for the understanding of solar processes. And yeah, if you are interested, you can write me and I will give you an individual assessment if you can jump over this preparatory modules, or if you will have to do them. Then there's this a big bunch of mandatory modules like solar cells, PV systems, solar thermal systems, and you have to choose several electives. Like, as I said, contact me and I will send you the details about all our courses. But what I wanted to tell is this final semester, the thesis. So the last 6 months of the course consist out of the master thesis. And here we offer all our students to join us here in Freiburg. Minimum would be 3 months or more, and do this master thesis in one of our high-end labs. You can also come for longer research stays, like for 8 months or 10 months, and become part of this research landscape next to studying theory. However long you can make out of your job. You can also make the thesis in distance, but yeah, I always recommend the golden way to really come here. And for this master thesis, this research grant with Mrs. Geist from the DAAD just mentioned would be well, a good opportunity. So what you need if you want to study with us is a bachelor in mathematics, engineering, or a related field. You should have, which is probably for you Americans not the big problem, English language skills, and at least 1 year of professional experience. The program is to international standards not very expensive. It's approximately 3,000 euro per semester or 8,000 euro per year. Yeah, a big thing is that we have exams in all the courses, but also these exams can be done in study centers all around the world without extra costs. Application is open for a long time now. Next intake will be in October 2019. So if you are interested, you can always contact us, write me an email, go via our homepage or whatever link you use. Okay, so that is everything about our online master in Freiburg, solar energy engineering. Always feel free to write me an email. I'm always happy to reply, to give you all information, or we can have a personal meeting online and I will explain you much more. And with this, I will hand over to Kassel to the Wind Online Master. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, thanks a lot, Philip, for your very nice introduction about your online program, Solar Energy Engineering. Now, I would like to present in the next 10 minutes the online master of wind energy system, as well as how we teach our students online. So next slide, please. Philip, can you go to the next slide? Thanks a lot. And these figures on this slide show the top 10 countries of the cumulative wind power capacity in 2017. In this year, the global installed capacity reached nearly 440 gigawatt. What is very interesting that 3.7% of global electricity consumption is currently provided by the wind energy. And a very nice and specific fact is that in 2016, 1.1 million jobs were created by the global wind industry, and therefore highly qualified workers are required worldwide. This means also for our online program that we designed the program for the job market and to meet this high demand for skilled workers. Now I would like to present in some short words the University of Kassel. The main facts are that the Kassel University is an environmental university, and the aim of the university's research and education activities is to create a balance between the needs of mankind and the preservation of the environment. And this, in combination with the long German tradition in training excellent engineers, makes the University of Kassel, for sure, one of the best places to study engineering for wind energy systems. Next slide. Here on this slide, you can see some basic facts about our Fraunhofer Institute for Energy Economics and Energy System Technology. Around about 350 scientists are working here at our institute, and our annual budget is approximately 22 million euro. We have different business areas, and the two business areas are energy economics and energy system technology, with some subfields, for example, virtual power plants and wind resource assessment with LIDAR, and some subtopics for energy system technology is or are grid planning and operation, and also power electronics and device technology. And of course, these subtopics or the content of these subtopics are included in our online program. Next slide. Yes, lecturers from different universities, the Fraunhofer IEE in Kassel and the Fraunhofer IWES in Bremerhaven, and the industry are part of the master program. And this teaching alliance guarantees a combination of both a theoretically and practically oriented education. Next slide, please. Yes, our program is accredited by the ASEAN, and a total number of 120 credits must be completed in our master program. And this number of 120 credits is divided into basic modules, advanced modules, and additive key competences. And 30 credits must be selected in one of the specializations. This means simulation and structural technology or energy system technology. And the remaining 30 credits must be gained through the other advanced modules and additive key competences. And the master's thesis in our program comprises 30 credits. It is possible to write the master's thesis in the wind energy industry at the Fraunhofer IEE or at the University of Kassel. Alternatively, you are invited, of course, to come also to Germany for writing the master's thesis at one of the contributing institutions. And after your studies, you also have the possibility to continue with a PhD. Next slide. Since this year, we also offer some practical phases. We have two practical phases. The first practical phase is a practical week. We invited our students for 1 week to Germany, And during this week, you have the chance to connect a little bit with your fellow students from around the world. Another benefit of the practical week is, of course, to meet also our teachers from the university and both Fraunhofer institutes. And we explore with our students the most important native places of the online program. And this means we visit different companies in the wind energy sector, for example, Enercon in North Germany. We visit also the Global Wind Summit. This year we've been in Hamburg, and next year we would like to go to Husum. This is in the northern part of Germany. And after your practical week, you have to create a career plan. And if you do this, then you have the chance to earn 3 credits. And furthermore, besides the practical week, we offer also our students some project phases. And the purpose of this project phases are very similar to the practical week. We would like to give the students the opportunity to gain some practical insights into the German wind energy industry. And our students can work in projects at the University of Kassel, both Fraunhofer institutes, or some German companies in the wind energy sectors. And if you would like to do this, you have the chance to earn 6 or 12 credits. Maybe the most important fact now are the admission requirements and the costs of the master program. If you would like to study our program, you need a bachelor degree, a diploma, or an equivalent degree with at least 180 credits in the subject fields of engineering or natural science. Then you need a letter of motivation. You need a proof of at least 1 year of professional work experience. And last but not least, maybe this is not so important for you due to the fact that you are from the United States, you need a proof of your English language. The cost of our program are in sum 14,000 euro for the whole program. This means round about 2,000 euro per semester. Please go to the next slide. In addition to our master program, we also offer 7 certificate programs which offer a precise knowledge in specialized topics, for example, in electrical engineering. And each of these certificates has a scope of 30 credits, and the cost for one certificate is 6,000 euro. Next slide. I would like to give you also a summary of the presentation at the end. In a nutshell, the main objective of the master program for wind energy system is capacity building in the field of wind energy for research and industry. You will develop problem-solving skills in the fields of structural technology and energy system technology with application to wind energy. The prospective targets group for the master program are natural scientists and engineers from research and industry. And due to our high-level master basic training, it is also possible to provide students with advanced learning contents. And from our perspective, this opens up an excellent job perspective for the students and competitive advantages in wind turbine development. And Philip, can you please go to the last slide? If you have more questions about our master program, then please free to contact me. Here you can see my contact data, or also my colleague Julia Merkner from the University of Kassel. I would like to give you one, maybe the most important basic fact for our master program is that the deadline for this program is the 15th of July 2019. And if you have more specific, or if you would like to receive more specific information, please also our website. And now I would like to hand over the presentation to my colleague Andreas Günther from the University of Oldenburg.
Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome. And yeah, this is Andreas Günther from the north of Germany, from Oldenburg. And thanks to all my previous speakers, especially to explaining the opportunities in wind energy and in solar energy. And yeah, if you are not sure which of the two you prefer, you might just join us in Oldenburg to study wind and solar energy. So yeah, a little bit more about the more general overview in renewable energy. A few words about our university in Oldenburg. So we have around about 15,000 students, and we are located in the northwest of Germany. The next city you might have heard of is Bremen, and Hamburg is also not very far. We have actually developed this online master program next to other on-campus master programs. They are partly more than 30 years old, and we have in the meantime more than 500 graduates from renewable energy master programs, and our master programs are backed by energy research groups who work in wind energy. There's the Forwind Institute, for instance. We have a research group on photovoltaics, energy meteorology, and we cooperate with some research institutes in the area. For instance, the DLR Institute for Networked Energy Systems and the Fraunhofer Institute for Wind Energy Systems in Bremerhaven. Yeah, next slide, please. So just a few facts about our renewable energy online and short RIO. So as I already mentioned, we cover a broader range of topics in renewable energy. There's different energy technologies, wind energy, solar energy, energy storage, but we also discussed energy systems, on-grid, off-grid systems, but also topics which are not directly technology, but rather focus on sustainability and the relationship between energy and society. Our target group, I would say, is similar as for the other two programs. So it should be engineers, natural scientists with a bachelor degree, and we also offer the format which we call blended learning. So our courses are mainly online, and it includes 2 compulsory on-campus phases, which are 2 weeks each. They are mainly to do laboratory work, so really to gain some hands-on experience. But we also do excursions and some workshops. The regular study time is 7 semesters, so it's a part-time study program, and you should calculate about 20 hours of workload per week. But it's in principle, it's a modular design. So if you have less time, then you can choose less modules per semester. Then it takes a bit longer, but your workload decreases. Weekly, the workload would decrease. Our courses start every October, and we are just currently revising our application procedure, so I cannot definitely say the deadline, but it will probably also be around June or July next year for the intake in October 2019. Yeah, this slide just shows a short or an overview about our curriculum. So we have mainly the blue and orange boxes are compulsory modules and different topics, and the modules which have these dotted lines are electives, and then you can decide if you want to focus more on some aspects of wind energy or of photovoltaics, for instance. And the last 2 semesters is the master thesis, which is 30 credits out of the total of 120 credits. A few words about our instructional design, so how to teach and how to learn. We are working with concepts of active and cooperative learning. So one thing is that you should not study alone, but rather in groups, and of course a very close supervision by lecturers and mentors should help you during your studies. And also what you see here is kind of a ladder or some steps. So we start with rather not so complex and not so demanding forms of learning, which we call experiential learning. And then with the course of studies, it increases in complexity and goes more towards case-based, project-based learning and research-based learning in the end. Next slide, please. Here we also take tuition fees. It is round about 20,000 euros. It depends on, we have an allowance scheme, so it depends on the module packages. So for instance, if you would pay for the whole program upfront, then it is 16,000 euro in total. And in addition to these tuition fees, you should calculate with some cost for semester fees, which is 170 euro for every 6 months, and the travel cost to the 2 on-campus phases. The admission requirements, you need a first academic degree as a bachelor from a university. You need 1 year of professional experience and English level of B2, but similarly, as the colleagues already said, that should not be an issue for you. And yeah, just to say again, application process is currently under revision, and we will explain it and on our website in due time. So thank you very much for your attention, and here you also find a link to our website where you can also find my contact details for further questions. So that was all from my side, and now I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this overview. I do actually have a few questions for those listening live. If you have a question, type it into the chat box, and I'll be happy to pass that along to our presenters. The first question would be, is there any funding available for students for the full master's or for the living expenses who study on the master's? Well, living expenses, that wouldn't apply since it's an online opportunity, but for the tuition fees, is there any support that students can apply for, or are there any loans that you're aware of that students may have taken advantage of to be able to cover the tuition fees? And that's for any of the presenters.
Yeah, maybe for Oldenburg, we are still in the phase of looking for funding schemes. So at the moment, we are not able to offer anything, but as soon as we found some option, we also would publish it on our website.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. So yeah, I guess for those that are interested in applying, just visit the website and stay tuned for updates also on funding that's available. My second question would be, so those are programs on the master's level. If an individual is interested in pursuing an academic career, research career, what would be, like, how easy would it be for an individual to continue maybe with a PhD? Is that something that happens on a regular basis for individuals who pursue this online degree? And then what will be the steps to take for this additional step? And assuming that this person would then also really pursue a PhD in Germany, not as an online opportunity, but an in-person doctoral studies.
Yeah, I can speak for the example of Freiburg. We have several students who finished our program and are currently doing PhD programs in the Fraunhofer ISE in Freiburg. This is especially a good way if the students, as I mentioned before, choose to do the master thesis in Freiburg, so stay in the end of the program for several months in Freiburg and become part of our research group here. But for all students, this Master of Science gives them the possibility to do the PhD wherever they want, basically in Germany and I guess all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the same counts also for the second program, the Master of Science Wind Energy Systems. If you pass all the 120 credits, of course, you have also the chance to do a PhD at our university here in Kassel, or also on any other university in Germany or worldwide.
Great, thank you. And then my third question is in regards to the alumni. I saw a slide with a quote from two, but would you please elaborate a little bit more on maybe where, if students are interested in pursuing one of the degree programs, where they could see themselves maybe in 3, 4, 5 years? Do you have examples for where your alumni are now?
Yeah, we have at the moment 18 alumni from the past years, and they are basically all over the world, somewhere in the PV industry. So we have several doing PhD projects here in Freiburg or in other universities. We have one guy who founded a PV company in Kuwait. We have one who worked at VWW in India, and is developing their renewable energy projects now. We have one who founded also an own company in Shanghai, where they build rooftop PV systems for rooftop applications in a lot of countries. We have some people working in government associations in Brazil, for example, for the German government to develop PV projects. And yeah, so basically,
so they're all over the world, essentially.
They come from all over the world, and they work all over the world.
And so I assume, just to make it clear for our listeners, the graduate programs that are available are accepted and are recognized all over the world as a valid graduate program, and with that they can really work anywhere in the world. Is that correct?
So what we offer is a general German Master of Science, like any other German Master of Science. We have the policy like a degree is a degree. It's same value as all the other degrees. And in our case, there's not even written online on the degree. So it's just a German Master of Science with the same standards and every other Master of Science, and with the same chances.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, that's also, I think it's true for all programs. So they also accredited our program as well by the ASCII, and so and like the final degree and the requirements for the master thesis are the same, and so in principle also the job chances and the recognition of companies and so on should be the same as face-to-face master programs.
Wonderful, thank you. Are there any questions from the audience? Now's your chance to get your questions answered live. If you can think of a question right now, and of course for those of you listening to this recording later on, you do have the presenters' names and email addresses in my DAD introductory presentation, but also in the main presentation, and both I will upload also to our archive. So if you listen to this one as a recording, go to the DAD.org webinar archive to download both the DAD presentation with information on the funding that's available for research, but then also on this general overview of the master's programs. It doesn't look like we have any additional questions. Is there anything that you would like to add, maybe, that you haven't mentioned in your presentation?
I would also like to add that you can always visit fraunhofer.de/career to find more opportunities for PhD or research in different fields of Fraunhofer institutes. So if you're interested in that, just visit fraunhofer.de/career.
Yeah, and anyways, you're always welcome to write us emails or contact us. It would be nice to hear from you, and we are here. And thanks for listening, whoever listens this now or listens to the recording. it's our pleasure to present this to you, and yeah, looking forward.
Thank you. Well, if there are no more questions, we can stop early and allow you to go home at a decent time. Thank you very much for joining us today, and it's already fairly late in Germany, so thank you for presenting to us at a fairly late time in Germany. Thank you to our listeners, and I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.